Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Rabbit here, and more Salt and Sanctuary today. Today we will be taking on Setzer, also known as the Mad Alchemist. It's been a bit since I've played, but that should be fine. Go. By the way, something I forgot to establish was that red grasses are the healing items for the forest wraiths, or the woods wraiths. Use red shard while I explain this. Are the healing potion for the woods wraiths. Each oath has a different healing potion. The main thing about the Woods Wraith's healing potions is that they restore HP a little bit more slowly, but they restore more HP overall. Aside from that, I don't know if it has any other properties, but it might. Unfortunately, we're kind of lacking in terms of arrows. Mad Alchemist, also known as Setzer, is a bit of a DPS race. It's unfortunate. Good God, he's loud. Oh no. Like I said, bit of a DPS race. Unfortunately, he is one of those bosses that throws out a lot of shit, spawns a lot of enemies. And he will just keep spamming shit until he dies. If you take too long to kill him, he will just kill you through outright buggery. There we go. I need to refill on arrows at some point. So yes, that is Setzer dead. And I will get to Setzer eventually in one of these stories. Got a Black Pearl, the Mad Alchemist's Ear, as well as the Mossy Key. Mossy Key should allow us to get to the next area, if I am correct, which I believe is the Sunken Keep. Bit of a ass of an area, really. I'm just gonna level up real quickly. That might be enough to pick up the next light armor skill. It's enough to pick up class 3 archer, which is nice, actually. So I think I will go for archer and augmented endurance is always useful. Question is, what does it lead to? Crossbow path? I don't really need crossbows at the current point in time, and I don't plan on using them. So what is on the docket today? We are likely going to be going through the Sunken Keep, which is a relatively small area, full of an asshole enemy. These assholes specifically. They do a lot of damage, but they're fairly squishy. Soldier's Poem and a Stone Blacksmith. That is what is required to upgrade my weapon or armor. You can't upgrade armor in this game, I just don't tend to. And there's something at the bottom here. That is what's needed to upgrade your weapon and armor to rank 3 or higher. And yes, we can get immediately to the boss. But Yeah, the boss here is kind of a dick. Okay, no secret door there. The boss here is kind of a dick. That's really the best way to put it. Just simply due to the fact that... he doesn't really, like... He has a very weird attack pattern and attack delay, and it just makes it very difficult to actually dodge his attacks. And you might say, well, then just use a shield. The issue is that he hits like a fucking Mack truck wielding smaller Mack trucks. Oh god. Fuck. So, he's gonna hit really goddamn hard. And if you don't have a good shield, you're not gonna block that. Plus, even if you do block it, you're likely to just kind of still eat shit. There we go. It only takes 2 attacks with them. Alright. So yeah. Not only is he very likely to damage you through your shield, he's very likely to drain literally all of your stamina whenever he hits your shield. Which is a thing. I forget what... No, I don't want to challenge the boss yet. I actually wanted to go the other way and pick up an interesting weapon that I might use if I ever do my Deus Vult Let's Play of this game, because there's a lot of different ways to play this game. Might do a greatsword build eventually, but a few bells of return. Then there's some stuff down here, specifically the Warhammer. Good god, the Warhammer hits like a truck, but it is even slower than the Claymore. Damn it. Get up the fucking... There we go. It is even slower than the Claymore, but hits even harder. It's a good trade-off, if you like that kind of thing. I prefer faster weapons, personally. And it's just one of those things of... Damn it. Oh, it's up there, so if you go here... Then how do you get up there? And I have no idea how to get up, how to get back up there. So... Is there a way to get up here? I don't know. So... I prefer faster weapons. That's just kind of my thing. I can appreciate slower and harder hitting weapons. It's just... an attack you miss does no damage. And it's much more likely to actually miss an attack due to... And I think this is an alternate way to the boss. You can technically go past him. Okay, I just failed to kill him. I'll probably do a leap. There we go. Especially with faster enemies like this, it's much more likely that you'll just simply miss your attack on the boss. Let's see, where does this lead? Hager's Cavern. Bell of Return. Does this lead anywhere? Or obvious anywhere? So... you might think, well, if you prefer faster weapons, then why did you have such a reticent a reluctance to accept the dagger into your life. And my response to that is that a lot of weapons tend to go, well, it's a faster weapon, so it must be like a fucking tissue paper weapon. Which, I despise that. And, you know, it makes sense in theory, but if you make a weapon that hits fast too weak, then no one will use it. This just feels like a trap. And yeah, that probably is good design if you've got your player thinking that something's a trap. When it isn't. Especially in a trap-filled area. Boy. Hold up. Whew, that was lucky. That was not skill. There we go. Managed to get the Violhawk visor. Bronze visors are the Violhawks. Violhawks viewed themselves as birds of prey, hunters of the vole-like peasantry. Class 1 light armor is just kind of overall heavier, slightly shittier, has better physical defenses though. I do like the, And yes, this game has total defense with shields. So you don't need to worry about directionals. Boy. That was just me playing bad. These guys shoot surprisingly fast. And it does catch me off guard a lot. Well, hang on. If this is the Jester fight, then what about the room prior? Another stone leader, just in case. I forget which way the Jester faces. We might get to that boss fight. It is a slightly less shitty one. But if that's the Jester boss fight, then this previous room must be the Sanctuary. So, let's see. Through here, and it is. There we go. It's been a while since we've been able to claim a Sanctuary, actually. So, make offering. I want a blacksmith here at the very least. I don't know about a sellsword or a cleric. I might put a leader here. Gain a salt gain bonus to Sanctuary region. But probably not, at least not at the current. So, blacksmith. Ah, you finally sell arrows. Alright. He also sells poison arrows, which are pretty nice, actually. So, I would like, you know, just a small handful. Small handful. There we go. I don't think I ever need to worry about arrows ever again. So, upgrade. Midshipman's Dirk. I don't have locks of hair. I might actually need to farm a little bit for hair. What else does he sell? Doesn't sell any new shields. He does sell the raptor stuff, which is kind of nice. I'm at least going to pick up the Brigadine and Sabatons. And done. I might have to go farming in between episodes for upgrade materials. And I am fairly sure that there is a room past that sanctuary. Ah, weak coffee. It almost sucks when you have weak coffee. So. I'm sorry, I was tickled by that. Boy. This is actually terrible aim for arrows, by the way. There we go. It was probably more effort than it was worth, but this is a ranger playthrough. So using bows is kind of a prerequisite for it being a ranger playthrough. Otherwise it would just be a dagger playthrough. But thankfully, now that we can actually purchase arrows, I feel much better about using the bow more regularly. I feel like there's... yeah, there we go. Crystal Sphere, that's used for peacefully converting sanctuaries. Plated band, I'll read that later. Or I'll read it right now, I guess. Wrapped link. Ah, plated band. A thick leather ring bearing scales of heavy iron plate. Increases strength. Crystal motes ring. Has effective focus use on fatigue. This game is very happy to throw magic rings and such very early on. And when I say magic rings, I don't mean rings that are magic. I mean rings for magic. Rings that assist in the casting of magic. Let's see. Where does this lead? Oh. That's where... okay. I see. That makes sense. Vilehawk's Ear. I think I needed that for their bow. But I don't have a transmuter. Huh. Is there a secret door? Yes, there is. Stone Merchant and a Pack of Salt. I think the Pack of Salt is the biggest one we can get. And we've been needing a Stone Merchant for a little bit. So, make offering. Stone Merchant. Level up. I have some salt. Might as well. Tree of Skill. 2 black pearls, alright. Might as well pick up the class 2 light armor. Well, hello, traveler. You can sell items to the merchant, you can also buy items. Pest Mud. A vial of highly toxic pest mud. A sap harvested from trees found deep in Catany swamps. Applied to your weapon to add poison damage to your attacks. Forest Fang. A razor-sharp throwing blade coated in potent pest mud. Dragon's Tooth. A pointed metal throwing blade. Its handle is wrapped in pitchfire and flash powder. Arrows, of course. Poison arrows at that. Flintlock Shot. A small handful of lead balls and a tiny pouch of flash powder. It can be fired from a flintlock. Tainted Shot. A small handful of porous pest mud coated balls and a tiny pouch of flash powder that can be fired from a flintlock. He also sells salt for gold. Antidote, Bell of Return, and a torch. Saltseeker's Ring and a Lantern Charm. I might pick these up since I have the money anyway. And what the fuck else am I gonna buy, really? Can also sell items. I don't know if I'm going to be using the Crimson set. I might. But these copies of Chef's stuff I don't really need. Blacksmith stuff is going to be incredibly useful. Leather Curious. I don't know if I'm ever going to use heavy armor. I might as well just sell these, shouldn't I? And I'm sure there's a way to buy them later on. If not, I don't care too much, really. Gonna sell the extra soldier spear, gonna sell the extra iron pot. I'm never going to use Reapers. Warhammer. I should give you the lore on that before I sell it, shouldn't I? Bullwhips. I don't really see the point of them, really. Soldier's Poem. So sell a bunch of stuff, actually. And there we go. There's the merchant. Unfortunately, if you see, he has a bit of pitchfire on his table as well as a fire pot, but he doesn't sell them, which frustrates me a little. Actually, let's look at what's beyond the sanctuary, because there's 2 bosses in the current area. There we go. Okay, it's just an item. Link of Fire and Sky. If you start as a mage, then you start with this. Fire and Sky are powerful elements. Casting one over the other may affect the caster with dangerous elemental imbalance. Because of this danger, acolytes of the elemental magics are often given protection in the forms of rings like this. Nullifies elemental imbalance. What that does is, when you cast magic too much of one particular element, you start to take damage if you keep casting spells. What that does is that prevents that from happening. So it's good for wand builds. Cane builds don't really need to worry about it so much, and that's why you tend to get more damage out of cane builds. However, if you're playing something like... Ow. I don't believe you. Yeah, these Biohawk guys are really fucking annoying. There we go. Nail slong. Ah, fuck. Okay. You can roll through arrows, it's just easier to block them. That's the main reason I have a shield, honestly. I would probably get more damage out of two-handing my dagger, but I don't really care. Let's see, red grass. That does tell you that it's the boss fog, but I'm fairly sure that if you approach from a... Okay, it's locked. I'm fairly sure if you approach from a different area, you will get a, you get jumped by him. Okay, yeah, he was facing this way, so I think I'm gonna get surprise attacked. This is the false jester. He's a bit of an asshole. Because he'll do that. And I think he's one of those bosses that speeds up as the fight goes along. Rather than getting a new combo. You just have to get better at dodging his combo. I would probably be doing better if my dagger was fully upgraded. You know, my bow is actually upgraded. I have these rolling skills, I should probably actually use them. The Jester's a bit of a cheap boss. If you enter from a certain side, he'll be... Ow. He will get a free attack on you. Ow. Rolling skills, my ass! I think it's if you enter from the left side, he will get a free attack on you, but if you enter from the right side, he's too far away to do so. Okay, he's gotten his new combo. I think red grass is also takes a while to actually use. Yeah, bow's working out so well. The bow's working out so good so far. That's a gesture. I'm not sure what weapons and armor he gives you. Let's see. Ah, here we go. Chain chassis. Pretty sure light armor. Not going to be resting there yet. Because we need to go and pick up a thing. What the fuck is this? Boy. Ah, here we go. And we have a friend, also a chest. The Jester's gear. Greetings, friend. You've come to chatter. From where I sit, you seem the matter. Fork, spoon, knife, and a drowned man's wife. Jester, I don't really care for this character. Where I come from, in is out, down is up, and up is down. Plate, cup, bowl, and a broken widow's soul. I don't really get why he speaks in that kind of... I guess prose is a word that you could use to describe it. It's just... Why? Would you like this rich perspective? Trust me, Lord, it's quite authentic. Elbow, jaw, knee, and a grave beneath the sea. Sure. because we need progression. Fear not. Then extend your hand. There is great power in a brand. White searing hot and an iron forged thought. Ah. That hand must just look terrible. Yes, brands. They give us superpowers. In this instance, this allows us to reverse gravity using the monoliths that we've been seeing around the place. There's Silverleaf. And you do actually need to find a silver shield. You do actually need to find a, this is a dick move. You just get a power up, but you need the wall jump to get past here. You do actually need to find one of these little mini monoliths to reverse gravity again. But, yeah. There's a lot of items we can get now that we've gotten the ability to reverse gravity. And yes, you can skip the other boss in this area. But yeah, like, I wish I could reverse gravity right here so I could just grab that, but no. We have to actually go past, go back, grab the Stone Alchemist. There's a little crossbow right here. Bandit's Pass is a bit of a dick area. It's annoying, not so much difficult. Main reason I say that is because if you've got a keen eye, you will notice all of these crossbow traps. And there's one on each of the little islands here that you have to jump across. However, I'm fairly sure that I want to actually defeat the second boss in that area, despite how much I bitched about it. So, the Jester. Really, it's a very easy boss. The main issue with it is that it's just cheesy. Really? And cheese only works so long as you're shit at the game, I'll be honest. Oh hey, a friend! Oh. Let's see. He does a lot of damage, but let's see if I can parry him. He seems to not like that idea. Let's see. That does a lot of damage. He's very easy to parry, though, which is good. How much? Jesus. He has a lot of HP. Alright. Stone Merchant. Hooray! Wish we could get some more fucking stone guides. There is a distinct lack of stone guides. Red Hall of Cages. This is a later area, but we've already come into contact with it twice, and we've seen some very Cenobite-looking motherfuckers that are associated with it so far. So, yeah. You can probably guess that that area is going to be important for later. And there is the chain gear. Where is it? Ah. Okay, I thought for a minute that it was going to be light armor. I will be honest. But no, thankfully, chain is actually heavy armor, because if you've ever used chain, you do... Okay, that one was just a troll. If you've ever used chain or worn it, you know that it's fucking heavy. Like, seriously. Damn it. That one actually slid me off the platform. If you ever use chain, you know it's fucking heavy. Like, it's a good 40 pounds just for the chain shirt. But with weight distribution, it's not as bad as you might think. Bronze key. Oh hey, big. Big. Come here, big. Boy. You can rapid fire this, it's just I like to actually aim. This strikes me as the place you'd put a secret. Not quite. But we're getting near... Jesus. That elevator. But we're getting near to the point where... You could probably guess where we're going, actually. Do be careful when stepping off of that. I have seen more than one person playing this game that... ow. That steps off of that and it just sort of falls to their death. Chain coif. Chain gauntlets. I believe that's all the chain gear. So allow me to read it to you. Ah, this is the amethyst gear. Amethyst bodice. A dress like this could have been worn by nobility, though the design seems more in line with what highly ranked nobles' handmaidens would have worn. Amethyst hood. A garment like this would have been worn by a handmaiden, as hoods are typically reserved for the servantry. Peasantry would only sully such a delicate fabric. And then chain hauberk. A chainmail hauberk reinforced with plates in vital areas. So this isn't... This is a chain. This is half plate. There's a difference. Mail is extremely expensive and time-consuming to produce, but provides great protection against slashing attacks. This is true, though. Chain coif, a cowl made from chain links. Chain gauntlets, leather gloves reinforced with chain links. Raptor sabatons, that's a lot of shit. Where's the chainmail boots? Or did I sell those? Chain chassis. Chainmail leggings reinforced with plates in vital areas. Alright, so I should probably read this to you. Raptor visor Viahawks view themselves as birds of prey, hunters of the vole-like peasantry. Raptor sabatons, bronze greaves of the Viahawks. This use of bronze may seem odd, but it's not without logic. Not only do the greaves protect their wearer's lower bits, but they're constructed in a clever scaled pattern that yields reduced weight, improved flexibility, and most importantly, unparalleled grip on bark trees. And where is the chest piece for the raptor stuff? Raptor Brigadine, wrapped in green cloak of heavy wool, which serves both to camouflage its wearer and preserve body heat during nighttime. Hunts in the cold forests of Livin. So yeah, raptor stuff. Pretty useful. Or at least very interesting. This is probably what we're going to be using. And it's nice that they got the Brigadine right. Which is just a Gambison, which is padded armor, if anyone's familiar with D&D. Jesus, I'm slow. Oh, I went down to 32.4%. Let's see. Pretty guesses as to where we are. This is a new area, but it seems so familiar. That's because we're not in a new area at all. We're at progression. That is the castle. We could have come here earlier, but... Ah, yes. The true Jax. Oh no. Ah! Boy. Boy. Fucking Christ. There you go. They don't take very much damage. But they do hit like a fucking truck, so there's that. And a mini jack, because of course. So we're back. Oh no. And thankfully, we're back to enemies that we can actually execute. There's the mini jack. Ah! Those guys do have perfect aim, by the way. So if you hear them throw, move. Oh no. There's the angry jacks, the mini jacks, the normal jacks, and the... Oh no. And super jack so far. There we go. Got my arrows back, Raiders gear. God damn it, I thought they were done mowing. This is actually a pretty nice farming spot. Because there's a lot of... There's a lot of enemies that spawn here. No. Where is it? Is it here? I think it's here. That's how you get up into the trees. I actually kind of like that. The developers are reusing old content that you picked up in a previous area for secret stuff. It's not something a lot of developers do. Not an easy way to get down. God damn it, I thought they were done mowing. Bell of return. This is in case you come here really early on, and you can't get back, because this area is a bit of a dick. I think you have to go all the way around for that. So there's this area, which is a sanctuary. Looks familiar, don't it? We could have technically gotten here through the festering banquet. After festering banquet, it puts you out here. And you can use that to farm the area early on. Might as well. I'm not going to take the oath, but I will level up. So, I think I'm going to do some leveling, and I will meet you guys back at the Kraken boss for the second boss fight. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We're at the boss, and time to show you why I hate this thing. Big boy. If you see the Abella fight, you will know this guy is a little bullshit. Just, you know, ever so slightly. Has a lot of combo attacks that just are very difficult for me to predict personally. But thankfully, if you're a ranged build, you weirdly don't have as much of a problem. Although he can close the distance with you pretty quickly. And yes, I am just using the Forest Fangs to keep him poisoned for now. It's doing a lot of damage, so I don't see a reason not to. So, you might notice that we have a slight change of gear. I have transmuted the Viahawk bow. I have transmuted the Self bow into the Viahawk bow, and I have transmuted the Midshipman's Dirk into the Cut Per Shiv. It's a simple thing. You just, yes, he is getting faster. Ow! He's going to start doing follow-ups, isn't he? Go, just outside of range. Ow. Motherfucker. Mother. He's only going to get harder. Surprisingly intense fight. As much as I joke about nearly every basic enemy being just basically another version of Jack, we could just call this one Demon Jack. Because, you know, Great Axe, spiky, I know he likes to be edgy a lot. There we go. That ironically went easy. That ironically went harder than the fight when Abella was doing it. That's what I get from him: a green key and a Cricket Cyclops horn. Let's have a look at those. I don't know where I got the 2 crystal spheres. I have lightning bolts, light, spirited mend, which is just a better mend, and mend, which is a prayer. Tons of armor, tons of weapons. I should probably sell some of these. Oh yeah, I never actually went through the Raider stuff. I never actually went through some of these weapons. Heater shield, a lighter and more maneuverable adaptation of the older kite shield. Constructed from wood overlaid with the thin sheet of leather or steel, shields of this style are a staple among fighting forces of all sizes that can be found on virtually every battlefield throughout the continents. Warhammer. A two-handed cousin of the humble hammer, this somewhat unwieldy instrument is designed for combat rather than carpentry. Its considerable weight makes it difficult to use effectively, but also provided its spiky face with unparalleled striking force, making it supremely effective against brittle targets and heavy armor. Silver shield. An embossed heater shield forged primarily from silver, a precious metal widely believed to ward away evil. The blessed silver provides substantial protection from supernatural attacks, but its exceptionally high conductivity leaves the wielder desperately vulnerable to electricity. Nice. Leader's Targe. An iron round shield of the style carried by Mark Dorr's Grey Raiders, a notorious band of outlaws known for their brazen attacks on caravans and merchant shipping. The Grey Raiders rose to infamy after thwarting repeated attempts by the Dorian military to stamp them out, but the group was finally eradicated by Asgarian mercenaries after the High Council branded them enemies of the state and issued bounties for their heads. It's actually not a bad shield, but it's heavy. I think it's just a general upgrade on my shield. Got the platoon crossbow. A basic mass-produced crossbow commonly used by light infantry regiments and soldiers on guard duty, designed more for a large-scale economy than actual effectiveness in battle. Its simple components and solid constructed nevertheless provide great reliability. And the infantry poleaxe, which would be the upgrade that is likely to be Abella's thing. Variation of the standard halberd sports a crescent blade rather than a traditional convex axe head, slightly more ornate than its utilitarian counterparts, but considerably less practical as a result. This design is typically limited to ceremonial use and is most commonly carried by guardsmen on formal occasions. Class 1 poleaxe does... That's actually pretty decent damage, just gonna say that. At least in comparison to our current stuff. Yeah, Cutper Shiv is that. I'm going to have to farm in between episodes for upgrade materials for the Cutper Shiv and the Vilehawk Bow. But for now, this has been Rabbit, and this has been Salt Sanctuary. I wish you all a good day, and goodbye.